There was one thing the Wycombe game taught us, and that is that the depth at the squad is worrying. Spen now will be playing Wycombe again, maybe in League One next season. That's the view of many fans. We'll get to see if it's the view of our Pompey panel. Welcome back to Where Pompey Walk. 20 minutes of Pompey chat this week, including the December Player of the Month. AI is going to predict all the points at home still to come. And because it's January and it's rubbish month, we're asking who's the worst possible goalkeeper that we could put in a starting 11 of the worst Pompey players of the Championship era. We've got Sasha, Sam, Jake, and Phil back with us. There he is. He's popped on the screen at the bottom there to discuss all of that with us. What we're hoping for is that you will press the subscribe button and the like button and join in for the 18 minutes that we've got left to review what has been a very bumpy week for Pompey. Let's welcome Sasha back as well, fresh back from Sunderland last week and fresh back from Wycombe as well. Let's just salute you, sir, for the miles travelled in those two games. How was Wycombe?
Oh, it was terrible. Freezing cold. Terrible away end. Oh, I'm just glad to be home.
Any positives at all from the game?
I can't even say it's a ground ticked off. I've been there about 6 times. The positive is I don't have to book another day of leave for Sheffield United away. So
fair enough. Okay. Let's jump into some social media comments then, shall we? First of all, Tony says it's every away game. It's the same thing. This time it's on you, Mousinho. Multiple goals conceded in the first half. No way back into the game. He was a terrible manager. Jay says it's no depth. This wasn't even Wycombe's first team, by the way. Yes, League One side Wycombe just dismantled us with near enough a reserve team. A lot of those who started tonight are getting game time in the Championship. If this doesn't show you how awful our squad is, I don't know what will. Jake, it's hard to disagree with that, isn't it?
Yeah, very hard to disagree. And I was disappointed in the players. They had an opportunity to come in and really prove themselves, or at least show that they've got some sort of ability, but no one did. And it was I think Mousinho mentioned it after the game. It wasn't like the loss; it was the way we lost. It was lack of effort, and they were just poor. And it makes you think that they're just not good enough, and we need to massively invest in January this month.
Yeah, is it application, Phil, rather than quality? Do you think those players on a cold Friday night really wanted to go through to the fourth round?
You know what? I've been thinking a lot. I can't quite get my head around why our away form is so bad. But I think what frustrates me the most is, as Jake was saying, you've got players coming in who are getting a chance, and they're not just taking it. And I don't know if that's lack of quality or what it is, or application. But as a fan, it's frustrating. We were saying last week about how we don't care about the FA Cup. We're quite happy we lose, but caveat that, at least if we wanted at least to turn up and do something and put on some sort of performance. But to be honest, it was just, yeah, it was diabolical. It really was.
Cheers for that, Phil. Sam, Rob says it was, poor. Half of those lot are first teamers against Wycombe's second string. Of those first teamers, Sam, who disappointed you the most?
I don't know. Can I say the whole team? Because I think, it's like Jake and Phil have just said. We don't have. Everybody seems comfortable in their positions right now, which is a little bit worrying because there's no competitive nature within the squad, and I think that's what needs to happen for us to start moving up the league and start getting results away from home. And it was like Phil said, we didn't mind losing, but losing in the way that we did was very poor.
Other than Coventry, though, Sasha, when you concede that first goal, why is it that you seem just to give up? It's almost as if some of your players accept that that's it, the game's lost. Aside from Coventry, most when you conceded this season, you then go on to concede 2, 3, and as we've seen across the season, 4 and 6.
Yeah, it's weird because last season it was the complete opposite. I think in the entire country we won the most points after going behind. And, you know, it was a real winning mentality we had last year. Same manager, same backroom staff, a lot of the same players, really. And it just doesn't seem to be there anymore. And I don't know why. I really don't.
I'll ask you all. You can't have escaped what's happened to Oxford over the last couple of weeks over Christmas. They've obviously, as they say on this podcast, we talked to them. They've upgraded their manager. Their manager's done enough to get them into the league. They've gone for an upgrade, and now, or early on, they are getting the results. Obviously, you haven't done that, Jake. Should you?
It's difficult. I mean, everyone around us seems to have done. Plymouth obviously have got rid of Rooney, and a lot of the teams, Coventry again, have got rid of Robbins. So owners do seem to be panicking when they're down there, making that decision to change the manager. I think we've all said on the podcast, maybe other than Sam a couple of times, that we back Mousinho, and currently I am still Mousinho in, but a couple more away results like we've had, I can definitely see the crowd turning.
I started to see a few more Mousinho out comments, Phil. I didn't include them here this week because we owe him a little bit more respect, I think, than that. But I mean, Hove changed their manager. Sellers has now got them a lot more organised. It's not a case of that, you know, you're doing any worse than you have been, but it's the teams around you. Cardiff are improving. The teams that are fighting for this have all seemed to have sorted their act out.
Yeah, I mean, you often see like this new manager bounce, but it doesn't always work out that way. I'll be honest, I'm still very much supportive of Mousinho. That's almost 2 years he's been here now, and you know, okay, it was a difficult start. We had a lot of draws, but yeah, we all know what happened last season. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's still got a lot of credit in the bank, and I think he's got enough about him that he's earned a bit more time for sure. And we were talking about the Isers last week. Again, from their point of view, they've been consistent in terms of they will stick with someone as long. They're all in about the long term, so I can't see that changing anytime soon, which is okay for me just now. But as Jake says, you can only go on so long before certain sections of the fans will turn. But I don't think we're there yet.
Okay, all right. We're back into the championship action then this week. We'll have a look at our weekend game in a second. But first of all, let's just jump back to December if we can, and do it with the time lapse. Sam, December Player of the Month we need to award. A couple of names that have been bandied around. Who would you give it to, ignoring the official club's decision, of course?
Callum Lang or Matt Ritchie, I think I'd give it to. Probably give it to Matt Ritchie. Callum Lang's had enough credit, I think, and he's worked his socks off. So I'd give it to Matt Ritchie, homeboy, and I think he's deserved it.
Okay. Jake?
I'll go Lang, yeah. Just scored 4 goals in a game. That alone deserves it for me.
Absolutely. Sasha?
I'll be a little bit different. I'll say Nicholas Schmidt. I think he's been an incredible keeper across the month and the season in general.
Yeah,
good stuff. Phil?
I had a list of 3 and 2 of the names have already been said. So I would have probably favoured Nicholas Schmidt, to be honest. He has been Mr. Consistent. I'll go for Zach Swanson.
Yeah, no, let us know in the comments below if we've missed any. Let's talk about Middlesbrough then, shall we? When we played them, Sam, in August, it was an incredible game, wasn't it? But up at the Riverside, and you nearly came away with 3 points if it wasn't for that Conway penalty right at the death. I mean, I will not be putting any money on this game at all at the weekend. This could go either way, and it's at Fratton Park. So, would you take a draw?
No, I think we need a win. We need one. I think, like we said last week, Fratton Park has become a fortress, and we have played pretty good football at Fratton Park. So, and with our away form the way it is right now, we need a win. Hopefully, Isaac Hayden can play, and he can fill in that midfield role if Pack is playing at the back. And then I also saw on that team there that Sorensen played, and he's not with us anymore. So either probably Murphy or Paddy Lane will play there. So yeah, I think it's a different team to when we play that we have now to when we played in August. But we need 3 points desperately.
Yeah. Let's have a look at it again, Sasha. What do we I mean, this was what was it? Something like the 24th of August, something like this. It was like game 4, I think, game 3 of the season. Are Portsmouth a lot better? The team you've got now better than the team on the screen there that went to the Riverside?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, in some positions, we're definitely better. I think, obviously, as mentioned, Sorensen's no longer with us. We don't normally have a front 4 of Bishop, Lang, Murphy and Ritchie. I think they're an upgrade on what I see on screen there. Swanson and Devlin, both interchangeably brilliant. Pack doesn't really play centre mid for us anymore. And Norris isn't even in the side. So it is a very different team. I do think a lot of positions we have improved in.
Okay. Jake, Middlesbrough like to have the ball. And we know we've talked before about your press at home. This is going to need an energetic starting 11, isn't it? Are we fully fit? What's the latest on injuries? And does he need to change his tactics for the visit of Borough, given that they are probably one of the quickest attacking sides in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that Middlesbrough haven't watched any videos from the Coventry and Swansea game and they just start playing it around at the back like they did. That'd be handy for us. But I think fitness-wise would be okay. I mean, Blackburn, obviously, at the time of recording, we haven't played them yet. We're playing them away Wednesday. So as long as you don't pick up any knocks there, yeah, we should be fully fit, I think.
Okay, all right. We'll leave that there for the second. Then next up, we've asked AI to predict the rest of your home games and to give us the scores from all of those. Let's see how many points you pick up. Let's have a quick look at what it said. First of all, Phil,
Wow.
the level of opposition that you've still got to come to Fratton Park worries me slightly. We've still got Leeds, you've still got Burnley, there's still Watford and Blackburn in there. So of half the teams still to come, there'll be teams fighting for something. What you really want in this running is mid-table sides, and then the other half of it is teams in the relegation scrap. Stoke City, Cardiff, Plymouth, and Hull. And probably Derby by that point as well, all still to come to Fratton Park. AI predicts you'll get 12 points and that you'll beat Cardiff, you'll beat QPR, you'll beat Plymouth, and you'll beat Hull on the last day of the season. So obvious question coming up. Would you take that?
Nah. No, I'm not having that. No. As we said, we will stay up based on our home form. So you're looking at, again, it's difficult to judge on paper because obviously teams go through different periods of form, etc. But we're looking at, I mean, it would be nice to after what happened away at likes of Stoke and Derby and Plymouth, it'd be nice to do them over at Fratton Park. But I would like to think we've got more points opportunity there for sure. We've got to play the rest of the season, we've got to play the rest of the season like every game, especially at home as a cup final. The old cliche, but it is exactly like that. And I think we've seen enough, or I'd like to think we've seen enough so far to say that we could do better than the 12 points. I think we need to. If we only get 12 points, we're going down, unfortunately. So, yeah, we've got to do better. And I think we will.
Well, AI hasn't been to Fratton Park, has it?
Wow.
Sam? And it doesn't know the atmosphere that you drum up on your tight pitches and your squeeze and all the things that's good about it. But do you look at the fixtures to come at home there that we know that's where you're going to pick up most of your points, and do you have slight concerns that you've got some big names there and all these 6-pointers? I mean, you really want to be playing QPR and Preston, don't you? That got probably nothing much to play for.
Yeah, no, like I say, I mean, over the years we've been able to beat some of the bigger teams. I think the Championship is such a competitive league. I mean, everyone can beat everyone else. That's how it often plays out. There's no reason. I would like to think we wouldn't go in any of those games fearing anyone. Why would we? We're at home. We've got the fans behind us. let's go for it.
Okay. Sam, do you agree?
Yeah, I do. Because if we look at what AI had predicted us, and given our recent away form, that puts us on 35 points, and that means that we're probably going down. So yeah, we have to do better than what that's predicted. Like you said, AI hasn't been to Fratton Park, and fans can really get behind the team. I look at the teams that are there, and some of them I think can be intimidated by our ground, and I think we can definitely pick up a few more results than what ChatGTP has predicted there.
Okay. Thank you very much, all of you. Finally, then, across the next 4 weeks on the channel, because it's a rubbish month, January, having a little bit of fun, and we're playing around with the worst Portsmouth side in the last 20 years in the Championship era. We know you haven't been in the Championship for all those years, but you can include League One here as well. We're starting in goal, and next week join us because we'll be asking this lot for their worst ever Pompey striker in those years. But we're starting in goal. Give us one name each if that's okay, and then we'll let the public decide. Sasha, can you kick this one off for us? Who's the worst person that you've seen in the sticks for Pompey?
Without a doubt, Ryan Schofield last season. Oh my. He is the worst keeper I've seen, full stop.
Not even just at your club, just the worst goalkeeper.
Full stop. Awful.
Okay. Do you want to expand on why? Or?
It was literally just one game, and that game proved to us why he never played again. It was AFC Wimbledon at home in the Papa John's checker trade, whatever you want to call it. I decided, you know what? I've only ever been to one other checker trade trophy game at Fratton Park. I decided to go AFC Wimbledon, League Two opposition. Schofield starts, and I think we lose 4-0 or something like that. And every single goal was his fault. Every single one of them. And watching it back, it looks worse than it did in person. And it's just, we've never seen him again for good reason.
Okay. Brilliant. Jake?
I actually forgot about that game. I think I just got rid of it in my memory. But now you brought it back. Cheers, Sasha. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to go Kostas Chalkias. He was the worst keeper I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I nicked yours, Phil. Sorry. We got him in. We signed 3 Greek players. We signed Chalkias, Gekas, and Bassinas. And Gekas never played, and I wish Chalkias never did. He was absolutely awful.
Some good shouts here. Phil, you can have the same one. Don't worry.
The only one I had was Kostas Chalkias. He was, in my head, he actually played much more, but I think he only played about 6 games in the end. But he was unbelievably bad. It was just like comical. He was a flapper. I guess we've actually had some pretty good keepers over the years, but the other one that, and this is probably a little bit harsh actually, but the one that springs to mind more recently is it right? Allsop. I think we had him on an emergency loan from Bournemouth for the playoffs against Plymouth, which was a little, like I say, is a little bit harsh. He came in out of the cold, but yeah, it showed unfortunately. But yeah, they're the probably 2 that stick in my head.
Okay. And Sam, sorry, there's probably none left for you to take here, but
that's all right. I got one that his name was Yoshi Kawaguchi.
Yeah.
Japanese goalkeeper. It's terrible. I think he was one of Harry's like bargain signings or something like that. But yeah, it was terrible. I think it was so bad that like he was distracted by the fans in that away end, and they were just, and then he wouldn't know what was going on, and then they put 3 or 4 past him and stuff like that. So yeah, he's actually signed an autograph for me one time, and his pen didn't work. So that's also another thing that's pretty bad about him. So yeah, I'd go with Kawaguchi. I think we used to call him Kenny Catchy or something like that. So,
Naughty, right. Well, some blinders there. Who'd have thought you've had a whole raft of goalkeepers? Next week, we're asking for you to name the one striker that we're going to play a flat 4-4-2 in this team. So we want 2 strikers that should never have been given the opportunity. So get your thinking caps on. You've got 7 days to think of that. Join us for that. And of course, we're going to be reviewing. We're going to be reviewing the Middlesbrough game. Of course, we are in 7 days' time as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate all your time. Enjoy the Middlesbrough game, and we'll see you in 7 days. Do drop us a subscribe before you go. See you then.
Cheers.